to walk the straight and narrow line. I used to think that everything was fine.
Babies, Led Zeppelin, right here on the Coyote Medicine Show. The Daylight Flight, helping you get it right here on the Hazy Radio Network, babies, with the biggest heart around. Hey, we're the swinginest network in town, anywhere, babies. If you want to show that you care, tune in and listen here on the Hazy Radio Network, because we got the inside scoop on just about everything from the heart level on up, babies. And you want to hear it, and you want to receive it. So, babies, tune in to our fine family of friends here on the Hazy Radio Network with programs such as, After the Dark and Paranormal Underground, and there's just a bunch of them, babies. We just rock and roll, and got a whole bunch of good talk shows here, babies. And babies, if you want to find out what's happening, there you go. Get in the flow with the Hazy Radio Network, babies. You got that right. Hey, guys, you got the Daylight Flight here with old Grandpa Peter Coyote, helping you make it through the bright daylight. I know a lot of you are squinting out there, man. It's a bright one today, man. The old sun is out and it's shining bright. Well, the jets get up there and take their flight and try to block it out. Oh, what a bunch of little snots, man. I want to take those boys home and spank their little fannies, man. You don't mess with your Grandma Earth, man. You don't do that. You just be kind to this mother, babies, because she is more than a lover and a friend. She is more than a mother. She is more than a home, a place of being. She is a heart, a magnificent heart, a heart that is the center of all love, babies. And that same heart lives inside of you and me too, babies. Don't you see it? Don't you flow it? Don't you grow it? Feel the love, feel the light. Babies, get in that heart and you'll be all right. And everything will work out so cool, you wonder why you lived life being such a fool before you found this very intelligent, man, beautiful heart that lives by just this old golden rule. Says, hey, babies, if it's for you, it's for me too. Oh, man, a little coyote insight right here on the Coyote Medicine Show. Only on the Hazy Radio Network. Babies, we love you. And we're always thinking of you, and we're always right there in your heart. Because once we connect, babies, I do genuflect, I do genuinely get on my hands and knees and worship you, babies, because I just see so much grandeur, so much intensive love, so much passion waiting to be rekindled inside. It's like a big old wound-up clock spring, man. And it's starting to unwind even as these words awaken you. And the energy that goes with them, of course, to the divine inside of your beautiful heart. Babies, it's the baby of love, the center of all. Creator, creation, great spirit, it's a baby. It's an innocent child that looks out with love and light. Yeah, from his little crib in the manger or wherever they happen to be putting him this week. We kind of kick old Great Spirit around a little bit here, Not a lot of respect, babies, but we're learning. We're growing. And as we find this Great Spirit inside ourselves, babies, we're glowing. We're showing what it really is to be innocent and still alive. To be innocent and be able to thrive in a world filled with corruption. Oh, babies, we're here to change all that, man. We don't live where the scam prevails. Babies, we live where that baby eyes see all that's real, all that's true. And that's the deal. Because everything else just falls by the wayside. All of your beautiful wickedness just melting. Because little old Dorothy happened to have a bucket of mop water handy, man. Don't you just love Dorothy? She's such a little sweetheart, man. She put an end to all of the darkness. And I saw that movie the first time when I was just a tiny little kid. I think it came out when I was 4 or 5 years old. Cost 15, 20 cents to go see it. Try that now. Well, you can watch it for free here on the internet, I'm sure. Find it on YouTube, baby. We're up to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. Yeah, it's the Wizard of the Grandpaws, baby, right here. Reaching those paws out to you in a movement of love, babies, and touching your heart. Yes, indeed. And giving you that awakening start. Oh, babies. Or actually, it's a reawakening on a reawakening. You know, as I say at the beginning of the show, it's the beginning. Again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again. It just goes on, babies. The flight never does end. There's no limit to the sky. There's no limit really to the earth. It just seems that way. That's what we've accepted as our reality. A powerless limitation. Can you imagine the gods of the universe, the child gods of the universe, accepting a powerless state as their real state of being, even being at the subject and whim of a wild and violent nature? I mean, you can get hit by lightning. You might die 3 seconds from now. I mean, it's a fragile existence. And everything seems so out of your control. So you get up and do what you can to try and get a good flow. Man, usually though, when you try that, it just blow back in your face most of the time. And then you got to get on with life and try to be a member of this human race, which you can't figure out or you can't understand because they're so cold and silly and just they want to argue over the dumbest things. And maybe you wonder, why isn't anyone living in the heart? Why isn't anyone just like flowing and glowing? Well, good grief, looky there. There's some family here. There is some of this, finally, after all these years, kicking around in the darkness, and making love with geeks and freaks and, anything that came along because you couldn't find anybody else to sing your heart song, man. And now there's something real, something that's undone. And that old kind of deal, and babies, wow, your heart, it knows now that it does feel and that it can allow itself to. Because in gratitude is graciousness, and in graciousness is the light of day, and in the light of day is the love that creates all, which of course dynamically protects you. The more open you be, the more childlike you become, the more you see with these innocent eyes, the more protected you are, for you create a sphere of influence around you. As if you were that baby child laying there in that little crib yourself. It's a huge, vibrant 360-degree all around you sphere of influential love, babies. And it's like electrified, man. It's got the energy. It's got the juice. And when somebody comes to try and mess with you because they don't like innocence, and they're going to see to it that it never rains here again, whoop! All of a sudden wow, man, I think I'm an innocent one too. What was I up to? I can't imagine. And they drop their weapons and go their way. I've seen it happen in my own life because there have been times when I've allowed myself to present myself in pretty much fullness in public and done some pretty miraculous things, And that doesn't always excite some people. Some people find that rather aggravating. They don't want to see the people become empowered. They don't want to see love return as the central course of being, even though that's what it is anyway. It's just a matter of seeing it. So yeah, they've tried, but it's the same thing, man. When you get in that sphere of influence, when you're in the flow, all of this other crap, it's got to go. They can poison your food. They can zap you with one of those laser beam things, or just about anything they want to do. Baby, it just bounces off. It don't even come through. It's ineffective, It neutralizes. It detoxifies. It just loves you. Everything loves you. They could fire a gun in your face. A bullet would not work. It loves you too much to do that. It won't allow it. And in fact, inside this sphere of influence, you never have a gun in your face ever. They couldn't get that close. So just allow yourself. And you got to test it. You got to know that it's just not old Grandpa talking on the Coyote Medicine Show. It's you in your heart, seeing it for real, living it. So babies, you got to know that. You got to be out there in the world a little bit, and so when you make your move, just watch and see if it isn't real. The more you allow yourself to grow in the heart, the more you allow yourself to feel, the more you will grow in influence in this reality, to the point where you're recreating everything around you as you proceed through life and making it softer and gentler for everybody, so that folks can finally get off the anxiety kick, get off the drugs and narcotics, because they don't need them, man. They'd be so dang happy. You still might want to keep a little Mary Jane around, though. Have a joint or two in your pocket at all times, because you never know when you may need to soften up for another spiritual moment or two. She's the sacred herb, baby. She's here in assistance to you, the same way that Mother Mary is the divine feminine, whatever you want to call it. That's what it is, baby. And it's got nothing to do with Catholicism other than, yeah, I am running for Pope. That was last year, though, when they needed one. Now they got one. He's trying to be a revolutionary. He's not doing what he's supposed to do. Get over here, kids, and vote Coyote, man. Get me to be the Pope, baby, because I am the Pope of Mary Jane already. I'm a personal representative here on the face of this earth. Well, so are you, but we won't tell anybody, okay? Just how it works, baby. And man, if I'm over there, I'm not going to be over there in the first place. They got a nice little monastery here in Crestone, Colorado, that I think would in fact, what do they call it? It's a hermitage, baby. We rock here, man. It's humble, it's beautiful. It's out there in the sagebrush, man. Glorious little place. That's going to be the new Vatican when I take over. And we're just going to sell off the basilica and have a great big garage sale and auction for all the rest of the ancient mementos and stuff. And, all that true stuff down in the basement, well, we're giving it to some publishing houses that like to do real shit, And so the truth will be known all over the place, in word as well as in energy, And we're going to, give all the gold back to the people. We'll find a program, a way that everybody gets at least $3-4 million. Give you a good start in life, Why should anybody sit around? And once everybody's got that kind of money, guess what? It's so neutralized, we don't even want the money anymore. We just live a good and happy life because we already are that creation in motion. And therefore, we can provide for ourselves everything that seemed to be needed in a moment. But of course, as we rise up in these states of consciousness, well, we got natural air conditioning. We got naturally warm, balmy weather wherever we go, unless we want it otherwise. We're going to play in the snow. Well, we'll create some, babies, and we'll get our old skis out and have some fun, I don't do the snowboards, man. I don't want to break nothing, but might try it someday, when I get a little more limber, baby. I've just had too many friends break bones on those things, But I do love the skis, especially if you can get out and do a little mountaineering in an area that ain't too awfully rugged. Boy, that's dangerous work, though. I've done so much of it and nearly slid off mountains and skied into 100-foot deep powdery snowdrifts and had to fight like for my life to get out of there. Just all kinds of things in that mountaineering way. But babies, for the adventure of life, it's a worthy effort. Your life's at risk all the time anyway. So, I don't mind. I've had my fun as I've been on this run coming up through life and gaining my experience, and I've definitely done some far out things, and, I allow myself to move beyond the limitations of normalcy. I never have been comfortable in those anyway. Of course. Would you? No. You're the same type too, baby. See, we're in this boat together, and we're just here to have a great time while we bring in the ascendant heart. And through the magic of our own personal being, our personality, our person, our personal representation of the entire universe, our form of it, through that, we bring forward the planetary ascendancy simply by being inside of this beautiful heart, being conscious and aware in this beautiful heart, knowing the softness of our great love. I mean, babies love with the softest heart that there is. They've just come from the divine, and they still are the divine, you see. That's why creation takes this form quite naturally. God is the baby, you see. And it's never going to grow up. It's always going to be there, glowing and seeing and creating nothing but love and loving experience throughout the entirety of the universe and beyond. And babies, that energy is us, each of us personally, all of us together. That is who we are. You want to seek God, you want to seek Great Spirit, you want to seek your heart. The intelligent, aware, awakened heart of love inside of you. Yeah, it can be romantic too, but it takes a whole different message to give it its cue. It doesn't go there in that old way, man, because it's there, we don't play. Enough of that. The misery and all that goes with it. No, this isn't about adjusting into a new way of being. This is about being the new way of a being. And because of that, you draw to you perfectly natural partners, beings, family, circumstances, housing, everything that you could possibly need. And you live in the finest of places. You let go of all the traces of what we know of a civilization. It's ridiculous to pick on Mother Nature this way. It's a big farce. And we all know it. That's why we're not comfortable in it. We do it because that's the thing to do here. You got to have a car, you got to have a place to live, etc., etc. At least it seems that way. But as you awaken and arise in this very creative heart, this innocent creative heart, you will see beyond the current needs. You won't need electricity. You won't need heat. You won't need shelter. You won't need the support of an infrastructure other than the hearts whatsoever. You create your own dynamic as you live in it. And babies, you can be anywhere you want on this earth or beyond her. You can reside in any moment in time in any way that you wish. You are that flexible creation. And you can recreate the entirety of it. If you're uncomfortable with it, if you flat fucking hate, if you flat hate it, babies, recreate it. Don't hate it. And behind that hate is a need for change, and that's loving. You see? Hate can redirect. It's a way of saying, oh, this person causes me pain, or this thing causes me pain. See, it's the pain you're responding to. So you're really not hating anything. It just seems like it. You're wishing this pain away is what you're kind of doing by trying to spread it, actually. Project this hate through this projected hatred. Others do feel it. They know. You don't have to say a doggone word. They know it. But if you feel that kind of stuff coming towards you and you just send love back, babies, it's all undone. And that's what will happen inside of you that still cling to that hatred. Hey, the moment you open your heart, the pain's gone away and there's nothing more to hate for. There's no more reason for hatred. You don't see the divisions in the way you did before. There's no such thing as race or, tribe or nation. There's humanity. There's a human heart that unites us all. And it doesn't need a government or a regulation of any sort to help it know what to do and to get along with one another too. It's the allowance of the arousal of this heart that makes such a natural state of being available to us all. And not only available, we all inherit it. We become that. We live in a world that is structured from the loving care we hold for one another, because every time we look, we see ourselves reflected back from all these others. You see, I'm the oracle that can reflect you right now in this moment, but I do this so that you see that you reflect it too, and others as well. And soon we understand what it means to be one, what it means to be interconnected with all, to look at a blade of grass and know that's an extension of you, that is you. And to be there and experience that moment of grassery, to be that little blade of grass shining in the sun and straining like crazy to get all of that growth work done before the cold weather comes. Babies, every life has its story. Every life has its energy. Every life wants to be explored magnetically. It wants to be appreciated for its effort in the heart, whatever little part that might be. Little part, big part, they're all the same, don't you see? There's no need for big shots here, or for little shots either. There's just a need for living life to appreciate itself, so that it can honestly begin to care once again for itself, and no longer be lost in this misery of fighting and the other word too, yes, the one I just slipped with a few minutes ago, yes. Taking a real daylight flight today, babies. Right here on the Coyote Medicine Show, only on the Hazy Radio Network. But yeah, I feel you. See, right now my heart is opening up bright, and that's why I can talk as I do, because I have access to everything, even you. Especially you, because that's what I'm reflecting back. That's why this is a real personal thing. This is why we're both centering right now in our central heart together as one. All of us as one. As one. See, as I use these descriptive words and tell these descriptive tales, it ignites inside of you the awareness of this truth, this reality in which we live. So you begin that process of recombining yourself in the correct perception, the real perception that sees through dimensional realities, that exists on all levels, and therefore there are no levels. There is just life living. It's elevated, and it's as low as you can get. And it's everything else in a singular moment. A beautiful life arising, loving, appreciating the feeling of itself. How long has it been since you appreciated the feeling of yourself? Don't you grunt and groan every time you wake up, say, oh shit, I got it, oh, you know. Well, I'm glad some of you don't. I feel you. I feel your happiness, your heart, your lightness. But there's a lot of others that don't quite get it yet, you know, or just haven't got over the habit of it yet, you know. When you're a, grumbler and a stumbler, especially in the morning, that just seems to be a habit, something like, getting up and having a cigarette or a cup of coffee or a piece of toast or something, whatever it is you do in your little morning rituals. It's just another little habit, But we're infecting you with something far different than that, and you'll move beyond habit immediately. That's not saying you won't retain some, just saying you won't have the need. If you do the habit, it's only because it's a habit, because you want to. But you can stop or you can change anytime you want. And in this state, in this loving state, nothing can harm you. It can only heal you. It can only bless you, no matter what it is. Somebody can feed you arsenic on your scrambled eggs, and you just laugh and have a great time. And it nourishes you, it strengthens you, it builds muscles, it becomes a steroid or something that makes you all better, But it's not anything synthetic, it happens naturally. Your love converts everything into a beneficial reality. Everything. Especially that which you eat, because we know it's so contaminated now. The chemical industry and the accounting department have taken over the food industry. And this sweeping, huge step of pure insanity. But we'll correct that, babies. Individually, we have the ability to produce our own without going to a lot of extended effort, just by being in communication with the earth. And she provides. Babies, it's a whole new way of being. You don't need machinery, don't need plows, don't need furniture, don't need cars, don't even need houses anymore. Thank goodness for all of that. Because this was pretty harsh, having to rob our mother to provide for ourselves. Sad thing indeed, yet in that sadness is our gladness. We know now how not to create it. And we can undo all that we've done here too. That's why we projected it in kind of a matrix, so that we could undo, so that it had that flexibility. It didn't have the total substance of reality to it, just a little bit. Enough to convince ourselves into the drama and living of it, yeah, but just that's about it. And it was meant that we would see through it eventually. It was meant that we would come out of it, that we would undergo a series of severe controls over ourselves and become completely powerless slaves. And in our hearts, doing it happily and gladly, because those who enslaved us were brothers and sisters of the light who got lost somewhere along the way, and we just came here to bring them back. We're a sweetened little trap, as I explained last evening. We are, the sugar babies of the universe. Nobody can resist us. We're love bunnies. not even the darkest of the dark, and that was a perceptional thing we did now. So in a sense, we created that darkness. And so in a sense, we came here to correct it by being these sweet little sugar baby human being baby god things, Made us irresistible. Irresistible. So of course we had to submit to those energies and live through all of the terror, the torture of it, the agony, the ecstasy that even the agony would bring forward. I mean, there is love and joy in every moment. Even in the greatest of suffering is the highest of joy, because you can take it and move beyond it. That it won't break you. Even if it does take you, it hasn't broken you. You're more real than that. You live beyond the pain one way or another. You get it together righteously inside, or you check out. Either way, you move beyond it. And you're free. Yeah. But now, those kind of moments are history. We're moving into the reality of the divine, where there is the melding of the dimensional realities. The parallel universe, in other words, becomes us. As we become that too, the veils between us, the divisions, dissolve away. Well, the divisions in humanity, the same. This is our vision, our dream, our reality, the one that we are creating now, inside of ourselves, by allowing this heart to be what it is. Oh, Grandpa ain't no fool, babies. I know what's hot, I know what's cool. I hang out with angels, don't you? Yeah, you do. We all does, baby. It's just a matter of letting ourselves be it and see it. That's all. Just a matter of opening up and being conscious, allowing ourselves to be conscious. There's some uncomfortable sides to it, because we've really been convoluted, jilted, wilted, shriveled up and blown away. We haven't been in our heart very much, for a long, long time. But we've made it through. We've fulfilled every element of our so-called agreement in this arrangement. And so now, graduation day, the end written across the sky, and credits start to roll, babies, and we get off and take off the makeup and the costumes, and we party, babies. We party hardy. Hearty. Hardy as all get out, baby. This expansive thing becomes the universe. We have rearranged the arrangement of the organic and of the dimensions. We've re-infiltrated everything and made it right back to where it was in the beginning of time, as a harmonious part of everything. We've undone any misperceptions, misperceivings here in this existential reality, which extends beyond itself into all of reality. Yes, indeed, we are like the egg cracking open, but only it dissolves away, it don't crack. The egg just dissolves around us. See, we've lived in a great big old playpen we call the Matrix. It's a child's playpen. And our parents are present, yes, and they're not the ETs. They're an energy beyond the universe. I mean, we got to be a baby of something, don't we? Babies. Oh, the things you're going to see, I can't even begin to describe. As you expand and become conscious even of the elements beyond our universe. I mean, the immensity of the universe in itself is enough to try and take in. But to live in that world beyond it, to see the universe as a baby in a crib in somebody's house. I mean, that's our universe. And there's our parents taking care of us, and our nanny and everything else, and our little doggy and our little cat, and we got everything. We're totally free, we're totally alive, we're totally happy. And we got sweet parents nurturing us through it. But it's an energy, in a sense, that comes beyond this, from beyond this universe, yet lives inside of each and every one of us. And for the first moment and forever, you're finally conscious of those parental energies. Now you know the heart the babies come from. The baby of the universe, the Great Spirit, born of an ever larger heart. And that one of an ever larger heart. And that one of an ever larger heart. Going on into infinity. There is no beginning, there is no end. There is only, these spirals, these waves of consciousness, the waves of experience, the movement and emotions of the heart. Babies, that's as primal and as real as it gets. Yet it gets better and better and better. Right here on the Coyote Medicine Show. You got the Daylight Flight, Coyote Medicine Show.
I used to like to walk the street.